Good afternoon, baseball fans. We're ready to resume action from something that took place yesterday evening and is going to be continuing here on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Broadcasting live on YouTube, it's a continuation of high school baseball on Zach Arnold Productions, presented by John Wade Roofing, Arlington's favorite roofer since 1982. Zach Arnold, aka Zach the Voice, on the call again. Just barely making it from my 9 to 5 job, which literally kept me until almost 5 o'clock today, and a 5:30 scheduled resumption of this afternoon's ball game. I'm joined by my partner who was on the call with me yesterday, Jot Holly. Jot, we only got 2.5 innings in before Lightning took us down for the count yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, but the clouds have parted, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful late afternoon, early evening for baseball.
It's been a very beautiful day weather-wise. Like I said, that storm came in last night. I don't remember getting any rain on the way home from Arlington to North Richland Hills. So whatever rain came by passed by me, unless it was just an electrical storm. But we got a beautiful day out here. Wind still blowing a little bit right to left, right field to left field. So we'll have some breeze for the players. See if we can get more balls hit into the air than there were yesterday. A lot of ground outs. So be a new experience, new day. The rain is gone and sun is here to stay.
Yeah, the only run production that took place during the first 2.5 innings, we're going into the bottom of the third as we resume action here. The only run production happened after Devin Luna got a double to left field and then came around to score after Min Bay got a single to right, and then Ian Vaca grounded out to second base, which pushed Luna across. Other than that, it is a 1-0 ball game for the 6-8 Martin Warriors and the 12-4 Bowie Volunteers. It'll be the top of the Martin order that's going to be leading things off once warm-ups have concluded and officials have arrived. I've been led to understand that we don't even have an umpire here just yet, so consider this an extended pregame show, more or less, as we get ready to resume action here at Warrior Field.
It's the weird thing about driving down I-20 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon that traffic will back anybody up, umpires included. So hopefully the umpires are around the corner soon. Maybe they're possibly around downstairs getting dressed. We never know. But until then, umpires will show up and we'll be ready to play some good Wednesday afternoon baseball.
Yeah, it's usually Tuesday action that we get to be a part of, so we're excited to have you along the ride for some Wednesday baseball as well. These two teams will meet up again at some point later in the week. There's a lot of rain scheduled in the forecast for Friday as well, but these two teams are scheduled to resume this City of Arlington familiarity on Friday at the ballpark at Bowie. And we will have a broadcast team on the call for that ball game as well, live here on the Zap Network YouTube channel. So if you're a Martin fan, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you can get an alert for when that game goes live as well. We'll have coverage and play-by-play action of that game as well as some interesting interviews, most notably former Major League Baseball player and probably the most famous Bowie baseball player to come out of that high school. Vernon Wells is going to be honored on the field and then is going to come up to the broadcast booth for a little one-on-one conversation with Tim Costello, one of our other broadcasters. So should be a fun evening for baseball whenever that game gets played as well. And then we're looking forward to continuing this ball game as well. Weather delays, which we endured yesterday, are presented by our friends at John Wade Roofing. Anytime you need to weather a storm, you can weather it under a John Wade roof. They've been proud partners of ZAP since 2020, and they want to be your roofing partner the next time you have a roofing need. And I suppose you could call this a pregame show of sorts, but, Jot, we have the pregame show presented by our friends at Chapman Cornelius, and then what do you do in a situation like this when we're getting ready to resume action rather than start a whole game over? Do we talk about Chapman Cornelius again, or have they already had all the love that they need?
No, we'll give Chapman Cornelius a shout out again. This morning, I had a very Chapman Cornelius moment that made me think of them on the way to run some errands and pick up this equipment. I was hit on the side of the road going down Grapevine Highway. So,
Oh, of all things.
of all things to start my day off. But the day has gotten better for me. The sun came out for me. Came out as well. So fans, the pregame show, this pregame show for the second game in 2 days is brought to you by Chapman Cornelius, a family-owned business with a team of professionals who have served the Arlington area for over 50 years. Don't let insurance be a headache. Chapman Cornelius can be the one to help you create a custom insurance plan tailored to your small business needs and budget. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346 or go to www.chapman-cornelius.com.
For those of you who forgot or weren't able to tune in yesterday, we'll go ahead and present the starting lineups. We have been informed that the lineups and defense have not changed, although we will keep our eyes peeled just in case something has come up. But since it's the bottom of the third, we'll go ahead and remind you of the Martin Warrior lineup. They've actually batted all the way around, so conveniently, we're back to the top of the order for the Warriors anyways. Leading off and playing second base, it's Devin Luna. Batting second and catching, it'll be Min Bay. Ian Vaca bats third, playing first base. Luca Flores will be the designated hitter. Damian Openshaw bats fifth, playing third base. Garen Powers will be playing in center field now, as we have found out that he did make a defensive shift earlier in yesterday's ball game. So Garen Powers will be in center. Batting seventh at shortstop, Jacoby Hazen. Batting eighth in right field, Parker Hobson. And then rounding out the order, this will be the left fielder. It's number 7, Josiah Abunasar. The starting pitcher for Martin in yesterday's action, and he'll resume his duties on the mound here this evening, is number 18, Jonathan Shaw. Shaw will be on the mound for the Warriors. Defensively, for the Bowie Volunteers here in the bottom of the third, Ferguson will be playing first, Vega will be at second, Uribe will be at third, Henderson at short, Alex Rojas being DH4 playing left field, Turner is in center, Wheeler is in right. The battery for the Volunteer defense behind the plate, Roberto De Leon, and on the mound, Roman Ortega. Jot, you got here to help set up and got a chance to talk to Coach Johnson and found out that Ortega only threw, 15, 17 pitches in yesterday's action?
Yesterday's action, Roman Ortega threw 14 pitches. Martin's going to bat around, so this will be the second time through their lineup, as Zach said, but do 14 pitches. A lot of first pitch swinging by the Warriors, but it resulted in good things: a double, two singles, and then an RBI on a fielder's choice. Then they also got a sacrifice bunt. So those 14 pitches that Martin's coming out swinging right away. Ortega should know that now after a day of thinking about it, realizing, okay, Martin's going to swing. I got to throw a pitch that I can get beaten to the ground and let my defense do some work for me.
Defense has been a little bit of an Achilles heel for Bowie as of late. You were on the call for their game on Friday. The team committed several defensive errors behind the starting pitcher. A total of 4 is what you're waggling your fingers to me at. And it's something that has been a cascading effect for Bowie's emotional state as of late. They commit one error and it turns into a domino or a snowball of another one following it up or getting another one in the next inning. As a former player and as a broadcaster, as a Arlington native, whatever you want to call it, we've been around the Rangers pretty much our whole lives. We've played ball at some point. What do you see from the Bowie defense that they can work on to turn around that domino effect?
It's kind of the same thing I say about Arlington all the time. When you have bad games that result in multiple errors, you have to go back to the basic fundamentals. Um, I saw last Friday there was 4 errors. The previous game on Tuesday when I was covering Arlington, there were 6 errors versus Haltom.
Goodness.
So when you see 10 errors in a week between two different teams, that means the basic fundamentals are being lost somewhere along the way. And I understand these are kids. They go through the long day of school. They go through the long day of practice and workout, and they have lives. But the simple things that you're taught when you first pick up a glove to play baseball, you put your hand on the ground, look the ball in, take your time. I understand there are some throws that need to be rushed, some plays that need to be rushed. But at the end of the day, those fundamentals are what will carry you through times where your offense isn't getting hits, your pitching is getting hit around, and if your defense isn't there to help out the pitcher, it makes the day longer for everybody. Because then your bats feel they have to come out and make an impact right away.
Yeah, it leads to problems on offense where you start feeling a little bit desperate, thinking that you have to go up there and be aggressive at the plate rather than, try to draw a walk or lean into a hit by pitch or whatever it is to get you on base and give your team a spark. And when you get that desperate and you're swinging away and you're not making contact, it results in a lot of strikeouts, and then it leads to a lot of, I don't know what you would want to call it, fatigue or something. You start getting tired and frustrated, and it's not a healthy place to be in. So Bowie probably had the easiest start to district, playing Grand Prairie and then Sam Houston, their first two district series. After Martin, they play Arlington High next week, and then they've also still got Haltom, Lamar, and South Grand Prairie. It's a gauntlet, and it's anybody's district. And so when you've got something that you're in, like this ball game, it's a really kind of a must-win situation for both of these clubs, because after Martin got swept by Lamar a couple of weeks ago, their backs are up against the wall a little bit too.
Yeah, you dating back to last Friday, Bowie has now gone 5 days without scoring a run. Dating back to last Friday, they have now gone 10 innings without scoring a run. That's something that you don't want to happen. It's good that it's happening early in the season, but against teams like Sam Houston, who it typically isn't a baseball powerhouse in the city of Arlington, and teams like Martin, who is a baseball powerhouse, but this is not the typical Martin that we've seen of years past, with a lot of underclassmen on the team. You need to get that run production going. There's been 12 strikeouts in the last 10 innings for Bowie. A lot of his bats on the shoulders, can't hit breaking balls. They'll see a breaking ball, and they'll work themselves 2-0 count, 3-0 count, and end up striking out after a 3-0 count. Which are things that you can't continue to see. That means you're not picking up the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand at some point in time.
The officials have finally arrived. It looks like the same crew from last night's action here to continue this ball game. Our broadcast crew is back to continue this game as well. We want to extend our thanks to the uh, Martin family, starting with Coach Waller, who's out there at home plate, but along with the Booster Club. Mr. Vaca has been very hospitable to Zach Arnold Productions in the last 24 to 36 hours. We've got a really nice spot up in the press box, and we've got a bird's eye view of the field of play, as well as the camera having a bird's eye view for those of you tuning in at home. So thank you to the Martin faithful and the Martin family for your hospitality. We greatly appreciate it. After these familiarities are exchanged, it should be a resumption of baseball time in Texas. Please go ahead and copy that link and send it to your group chat. Let the folks at home know that if they can't make it out, they can tune in to the final few innings of this ball game here on the Zap Network. Jot, any final thoughts before we get ready to dive back into this third inning that's presented by our friends at Ika Signs?
I The only final thought I can have, if you're the Volunteers, look for the breaking ball. You know it's coming eventually. 2-0, 3-0, 3-1. The breaking pitch is coming. Just look for it. Get the bat off your shoulders. For Martin, Martin's done a very good job of first pitch swinging, and they should probably work the count more against Ortega. Well, at the end of the day, it looks like a good day of baseball.
Temperatures are in the mid 80s. The sun is shining. The birds are singing. And it looks like Bowie's defense is getting ready to take the field for the bottom half of the third inning. Everybody has gone around the horn at least once on both sides of the ball. So Roman Ortega will get a few warm-up pitches, and we will use that to help remind you that the third inning is presented by Ika Signs. They're located at the heart of Arlington and can offer same-day production on certain rush orders while offering a wide catalog of custom print materials. You can call 817-617-2229 to find out how Ika Signs can help your brand's visibility.
While Ortega is getting ready to get out on the mound, we'll step aside real quick. This is Bowie Volunteer Baseball presented to you by Zach Arnold Productions. Be right back.
A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Ika Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, Ika can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ikasigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's ikasigns.com/shop. Ika Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions. John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com.
Devin Luna getting ready in the on-deck circle just outside of the first base dugout that's occupied by the Martin Warriors. Bowie occupies the third base dugout as the final warm-up pitches are taking place here at Warrior Field for Roman Ortega. He'll be facing the top of the Martin lineup. Devin Luna, Min Bay, and Ian Vaca will be guaranteed to get an at-bat here in this bottom of the third inning, with the Warriors leading 1-0. It was those three young men that produced the first run of the game back in the first inning, with the double by Luna, the single by Bay, and then the ground-out RBI by the first baseman Vaca.
And Luna and Bay both came up first pitch swinging to start the game off yesterday for Martin. Ian Vaca took a couple pitches before grounding out the fielder's choice, but they didn't give Ortega a chance really to get to a full swing of things. So let's see how they approach it today. Luna steps in the batter's box. The first pitch he sees, he swings at again. This one's over the head of the second baseman out into center field. Jackson Turner's going to get it. He fires back in, and that's going to be a single. That's how we're going to start this second day of Martin versus Bowie with a single. Devin Luna, the second baseman, has a double from yesterday, a single from today.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-2 outing for the top of the order, which is exactly what you want from the leadoff man. Find a way to get aboard, and that's exactly what Luna does.
And much like yesterday, first pitch swinging there by the catcher, Min Bay. Uribe at third, grounds it, looks over a second, decides to fire at first, and we'll get an out number one. Luna makes it over to second. Good play by Uribe to look over at second, realize he didn't have to play, fire at first, and get the sure out.
Yeah, that's a bang-bang situation where you have to really make a decision in a very tight moment. You can try and go for the force, or you can get what you feel like is the more guaranteed out. But a man does move into scoring position now for the Warriors.
Two pitches we've seen already to start the game. One man at second. Ian Vaca looks up. Uribe has a man. He caught him in the rundown. It looks like the runner at second is going to be caught in the rundown, and he is going to be out going to third. Vaca's going to reach safely at first. Good job by Uribe. He looked off the runner this time, but realized he had enough space to get him.
Yeah, that was a great combination tag team work there by Uribe, the second baseman Vega, and the shortstop Henderson. I didn't quite keep up with who applied the tag, but it was those three young men chasing down the lead runner to get the fielder's choice. That'll put...
It was a 5-4-6, I believe, fielder's choice.
But it will put Vaca aboard.
Vaca at first. Three pitches, 2 outs, and a runner at first. This is how the game is going to start for us here at Martin High School. DH, Luca Flores. Grounded out to a 4-3 put out. Got a 4-3 put out yesterday in the game yesterday. First pitch, Uribe, more action. Fires over to first, and 4 pitches gets us out of the bottom of the third.
Crazy.
I'm going to step aside real quick. That was a very, very short inning. 4 pitches by Roman Ortega. Leaves a runner stranded at first. This is Bowie Volunteer Baseball, presented to you by John Wade Roofing. Zach on our production. We'll be right back.
Looking for the most unique gift for your student or athlete? Local Legends Figures has you covered. The custom 6-inch figures are designed with you and your legend in mind. They even immortalize yours truly with a custom, never-before-used model to create a Zach the Voice figure for my 30th birthday. Huge thanks to our friends at Local Legends Figures. See pricing and place orders at locallegendsfigures.com.
To the 4th inning we go. Jot Holly and Zach Arnold. Jot finished off the 3 innings that I promised him for play-by-play. It only took you about 24 hours to get that final 3 outs, and it was only a few pitches. That must have been a little disappointing.
Just a little bit, but just to get out of 4-pitch inning, being unscathed, It's a good job of pitching right there by Ortega, realizing that Martin's going to swing at everything first pitch. They're going to try to attack him. In some instances, you want to see what the pitcher has to work with. And now that Ortega's only thrown 18 pitches in a combined 24 hours, he's very warm.
He's
He's
got to
very fresh.
he's got to be rested, that's for sure. We'll see just how rested the Martin pitching staff and the Martin defense are now as we get ready for the top of the fourth inning here at Warrior Field. Number 18, Jonathan Shaw, taking his warm-up pitches. Defensively for the Martin Warriors, Vaca's at first, Luna is at second, Openshaw's at third, Hazen is at short. Abunassar takes over in left field. Powers moves from left to center. Hobson is in right. Min Bay behind the plate, catching for Shaw. It'll be the middle of the Bowie order, number 19, Brody Ferguson, leading things off. He is in the sixth spot. He'll be followed by Josh Caber and Roberto De Leon. Ferguson grounded out to short in his last appearance yesterday, and it looks like he may ground out to second here. First pitch swinging, a 4-3 putout from Luna to Vaca.
5 pitches. Took 24 hours to see 5 pitches, Zach. What does that make you feel on the inside?
I mean, I spent the whole day at Six Flags, but not in the fun way. I work for the ATM company that puts in the cash to card machines at Six Flags since they're a cashless venue now. Josh Caber takes a look at a called strike one on the outside part of the plate. And unfortunately, the company that we contracted for, they lost that contract with Six Flags. So I spent the whole day moving 500-pound machines out of the park and into our box truck as it's quickly an 0-2 count at the plate here to Caber. Let's just say we should be grateful that it's not smell-o-vision here on the Zap Network because I worked up quite a sweat out there at the park today.
I'm glad the wind is blowing this way.
Going the other direction as this one goes the opposite direction and fouled out of play.
Caber last Friday when he had the rare 0-0 batting average, but he had 3 walks. So he went 0-0, he had 3 bats, 3 walks. So a rare outing for Josh Caber last Friday.
Technically didn't have a plate appearance even though he got on base.
The on base percentage was skyrocketing. I'll tell you that much.
We'll see if he can improve that average here as he takes a look at ball one. Shaw's 1-2. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. Good dig at the plate by Min Bay, and it's 2-2 now.
Good approach at the plate by Caber. Caber is one of the guys on Bowie that you want to work the count. He's very good at working out of a 2-0, 3-0 jam.
Ripped right into the glove of Openshaw. That is an L5 on the solid contact by Caber.
That's just unlucky. Good piece of hitting there. Good contact by Caber. Just found the man sitting at third.
So it'll be up to De Leon to try to extend the Bowie at bat sequence. 2 up and 2 down for the Bowie offense here. As De Leon will send that one into the parking lot in the direction of the newest addition to Arlington ISD venues, Glassby Field, currently under construction.
De Leon yesterday was one of 3 singles for the Volunteers. All 3 singles were 2 outs.
Bowie has a knack for being able to get aboard when their backs are against the wall. Doesn't look like it'll happen here, or maybe it will. An unfortunate slip by the second baseman, Luna, will put the catcher aboard on the E4. That was hit right to him, even though he slipped. You know, part of that is the elements, and you have to account for that, especially in your home venue. That is definitely going to be an error issued to the second baseman that will put De Leon aboard, and he will get a courtesy runner. Can't quite catch the number there.
Technically, that is the second error by the Martin Warriors. E6 yesterday credited at third base. Today it's gonna be an E4. Now we have a runner on first.
This is number 8, Ryan Parker. Parker now running at first for De Leon. All one at the plate to the second baseman, Andrew Vega, grounded out to third base in yesterday's action. He'll take a look at a strike there. Should be a ball and a strike count to him. If he can find a way aboard, it's back to the top of the order in the form of Jackson Turner.
Center field playing very shallow. Looking for anything to stay in front of him.
He'll send that one into the bullpen along the first baseline. 310 to the corners, 360 to left and right center, and 380 to straightaway center field with the flag pole directly behind it.
About 330 to left, center will be in somebody's backyard.
This one's a chopper that'll go over the mound. It's going to be a tough play for the charging Openshaw. Pump fake, and he won't get there. Nobody's occupying third base, and Parker will take an extra 90 feet. Everybody is safe, and there's runners on the corners with 2 outs for the Volunteers.
Good piece of hitting by Parker. Good piece of hitting by Vega. He got a slow blooper. Third baseman Openshaw just pump fake. Didn't get a good grip of that ball. Allowed Vega to reach first. Parker made it to third. He saw Openshaw wasn't coming back. Nobody was looking. Good base running by the Volunteers.
Yeah, the shortstop Hazen seemed to just be watching the play, and all of a sudden Parker sneaks behind him and is able to go for another 90 feet.
Does that go as an E6 or a hit?
I would count it as a hit. It was a chopper. It was a tough play. It was a bang throw. I'm inclined to go with an infield hit on that one because Vega's so fast. It would have been a tough play even if he did field it cleanly. You're right, the up fake did slow him down a little bit, but I don't know, in my opinion, if that's enough to classify it as an error.
The Warriors infield has 2 errors, one from yesterday on the shortstop, one from today on the second baseman.
We as a broadcast crew are not going to issue a third one, but the official stats may try to give an E5 to Openshaw. We will not as we go to the top of the order in Jackson Turner. He's officially 0 for 2 for this ball game, but it'll be his first plate appearance of today.
Jackson Turner is a junior. He's one of the guys that this offense relies on. When you're a good leadoff hitter, example, George Springer used to play for the Astros. Now he plays for the Blue Jays. Good leadoff hitter gets things working for you.
This one's a chopper. It's another tough play. Openshaw with the throw, and it's not in time. Bowie ties the game. Back-to-back tough plays for the hot corner. Openshaw can't corral the chopper in time, and the infield single makes it 1-1.
Good job by Jackson Turner. He knew he had his speed. He knew he has the speed. He knew that Openshaw was playing a little bit far back in third base for a guy guarding corners. Use that speed and make Openshaw have to think about it. It's the second play back-to-back where he has a hard time grabbing the ball with his hand.
That first run scored by the Volunteers is their taco tally as this one's put in play to the shortstop. It's going to be bobbled, but the throw over to second base is in time, but not before Bowie ties it up in the top of the fourth, not the first. It's the first inning of the day. But they do taco tally their first run of the game. All first runs all of this season are presented by Taqueria Taco Express. Visit any of their 4 locations on Taco Tuesday for their $10 meal special. Headed to the bottom of the fourth, it's a brand new ball game here on the Zap Network presented by John Wade Roofing. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Taqueria Taco Express is now the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions. They feature 3 convenient locations, including 2 in Arlington and the original site on the Grand Prairie border at I-20 in Great Southwest. Their Taco Tuesday special includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Made from scratch with authentic recipes, you can place single or bulk orders online by going to taqueriatacoexpress.com. If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Well, if you didn't like hearing about tacos enough, I've got one more reader for you fans. The fourth inning stretch is presented by Taqueria Taco Express as well. They feature a wide, authentic menu and can solve any Mexican food craving. Order online to collect points for free food, or you can get 5 tacos and a large agua fresca on Taco Tuesdays for just $10. We tied it up here in the top of the fourth inning after Martin struck first in the bottom of the first inning of yesterday's action. They might as well count it as a brand new ball game, and it's a brand new day. Fifth spot hitter, Openshaw, officially 0 for 1 for this ball game. Had a couple of tough bang bang plays that were at his expense in the previous half inning. 2-0 the count to him here. Garen Powers and Jacoby Hazen, number 6 and number 7 spots in the Martin lineup, will also get an at bat in this frame.
Good eye by Openshaw to take the first 2 pitches, or take only through 4 pitches in the opening inning of this second game.
And he's thrown 3 in this at bat as it's a 3-0 count to Damian Openshaw. Force Ortega to throw a strike, and that's exactly what he did to bring the count to 3-1. Too far inside, and Openshaw will get the free pass to start off the bottom of the fourth inning. High school games are only 7. They're going to play the full 7, Jot. But it's going to feel a little weird only calling 4 of them here this afternoon.
Maybe we'll get lucky and be treated to some extra inning of baseball.
Hey, I will never complain about free baseball, especially when it's a big district matchup like this one. Runner goes on the first pitch, and De Leon bobbles it at the plate. Openshaw will get the straight steal and move into scoring position. Now the approach may be a little different for the center fielder, Garen Powers. With nobody out, he may try to move Openshaw another 90 feet on a bunt.
One of the things you don't see very often is reverse dropping a ball.
He is able to dig that one out, and it is ball number 2 now at the plate to Powers. Got a single to the infield during his last at-bat in yesterday's action.
Openshaw doesn't have the speed of some of the other players on this Warrior lineup, so if he decides to take third, a good throw could probably get him.
Chopper to third. Uribe chases the runner back, fires to first, and gets the 5-3. Good defensive fundamentals to get the out across the diamond.
And we've already seen a lot of work by Uribe. Top of the third, on the bottom of the third inning, he saw a 5-3, a 5-4-6, and a 5-3. Now he's already seen another 5-3 here at the bottom of the fourth.
That takes a lot of trust to have the arm power to be that accurate. So far, Uribe holding down the hot corner well for the Volunteers. First pitch swinging, that's going into right field. Openshaw's going to be waved around third. It's a slow roller. Wheeler's not going to be able to corral it in time, and Martin reclaims the lead on the RBI single to right field.
Good piece of opposite field hitting. Martin has done a very good job the last 2 days of hitting things to the opposite field. Not many left-handers in this lineup, but pushing everything out to right field. Not a lot of pull hitters, so when you have things pushed out, it makes it easier for you to get your base runners, get them in motion, get them moving, and get that run coming around. Good job by Martin. Good piece of hitting. Now they have a 2-1 lead. Now we're looking at Kobe Heisen. First pitch looked at is outside and then the dirt, ball 1. Runner at first. 1-0 count. Delayed strike call. Got the outside corner. 1-1 count. I'm sorry, this is Parker Hobson up the bat, the right fielder. Yesterday he had a sack. He got on 5-3 ground out. Hobson is at first. He was the one that had the RBI single. Hobson, the right fielder, is looking at a 1-1 count. Ball's fouled back directly at us, and it's going to be over the net. Strike 2. Ortega only threw 4 pitches in the bottom of the third. This inning, he's having to work a little bit. Already a run has come across the score to give the Warriors back a 1-score lead. As he fires over the first, Eisen is back in safely. 1-2 count to Parker Hobson, the right fielder. Number 23 in gray. Gray numbers, white uniforms, black pinstripes for Martin, black helmets.
Some of them are in white.
The 1-2 pitch swung on. Jackson Turner's going to be able to get to it. Oh, and that ball drops right in front of Turner, so that's going to go in as a single. And we have 2 on here for the Warriors in the bottom of the 4th. Jackson Turner wasn't able to get to that ball in time. Dropped right in front of him. Heisen at first. Heisen at second. Hobson at first. Josiah Abudasar, the left fielder, is coming up for his second at bat. Yesterday, he flew out to Jackson Turner. He was one of the last batters we saw. He was the last batter we saw for Martin yesterday afternoon.
Before they decided to call it. That's true.
Abudasar is 0 for 1. First pitch he sees. Backs him off a little bit. Ball 1. Warriors have a runner on second, runner on first, 1 away. Abudasar looking at a 1-0 count. Swing, the ball swung on, it foul. Coach Crowdage tries to barehand it on the bounce, not able to bring it in. 1 ball, 1 strike. One of the better pitchers on Bowie when it comes to runners in scoring position to work himself out of trouble. The 1-1 pitch is swung on, that ball's hit deep. We brought in by the left fielder, that's going to be out number 2. Runner's going to stay where they're at. But that was a scary fly ball for a second there.
It's solid contact, and anytime you hear that kind of contact, it makes you hesitate. But the wind is blowing directly in from straightaway center field, and that goes against Abudasar's favor as he flies out to the outfield for the second time. It was an F8 before, and now it's an F7. Back to the top of the order in the 2 for 2, second baseman Devin Luna.
That's a good job by De Leon to go out, just check on his pitcher and say, hey, look, we gave him the 1 run. Let's leave that runner stranded at second. Get the bats, come back out there, and let them warm up again. Good job by the veteran catcher of De Leon.
First pitch to the top of the order is high and tight for ball number 1.
Eisen at second, Parker Hobson at first. Both runners look like they have a little bit of speed out there for the Warriors.
1-0 is fouled off to make it 1 ball, 1 strike. Not close enough to my vehicle to cause any concern, but you go maybe 20 feet behind the bleachers along that first baseline, and you're practically standing in the parking lot.
Yeah, very questionable parking here when you think about how close you want your car to be to the field, just in case foul balls get hit out there.
I still say Cleburne has some of the worst parking arrangements that I've ever seen.
Didn't Geyer last season for the opening tournament?
Geyer wasn't ideal, but I still think Cleburne has some of the worst. This one's in the field of play, headed to shallow right field. Wheeler on his wheels and will make the grab for the F9, and that will retire the Warriors, but not before they reclaim the lead. The RBI puts them back in front. It's 2-1 at the end of 4. Stick around. There's still a few more innings of baseball left to play. It's high school baseball on the Zap Network, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Ika Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Ika features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Ika at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hear Zach talk about things beyond the realm of sport, catch him with me, Ben Hart, on the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast. For nearly a decade, we've been geeking out on IPC about our favorite nerdy thing. We have a back catalog of over 350 episodes diving into sci-fi and fantasy stories like no one else. Find the Intergalactic Peace Coalition at ipcpodcast.podbean.com or download via your favorite podcast app.
Welcome back to more high school baseball here at the home of the Martin Warriors. The 3-1 Bowie Volunteers trail the 2-2 home team Warriors. They're not the only Warriors in this district. South Grand Prairie had a split series with the other team that we cover, Arlington High, during last week's action. The Colts and the Texans also had to reschedule their ball game, and they are scoreless through 6 over in East Arlington, Jot. So Sam Houston is really competitive this year. They only fell 6-3 against Bowie and then ended up beating the Volunteers in the rematch. And now another team that's fighting for a playoff spot in the form of the Colts is also having trouble putting them away. First pitch swing is going to be a base hit to right field for Isaiah Henderson. That's the way you lead off an inning.
First pitch swinging by Isaiah Henderson gets a hit. The Volunteers have a man on to start the top of the fifth. As you said, covering Sam Houston. We got to see Sam Houston on Friday last week. You got to cover him Tuesday versus Bowie, but I got to see them Friday versus Bowie, and they have a lot of good players there. Sebastian De La Rosa went 4 for 5 last week versus Bowie to lead off the game. He was the center fielder for the Texans. Got a very good arm out in center field. He went 4 for 5, 4 singles, and he was the catalyst for that Texans offense. So as long as players like De La Rosa and Mark Ramos, the pitcher, and Angel Salgado, as long as they do good things for for Sam Houston. Sam Houston's going to be a good team this year, or a good team coming forward.
You mentioned the pitcher. This is Bowie's pitcher, Roman Ortega, that is digging into the batter's box. And a mound visit is taking place for Jonathan Shaw. There was one that happened in the previous inning, and it looks like that is going to be it for Shaw's outing here today. That signal from the coach is the sign of a pitching change. And the next time you need signs, banners, printed shirts, or other print materials, Ika Signs is the local printer to call. 817-617-2229 is the number. And tell them Zap sent you. We'll come back with the new pitcher for the Warriors right after the break. Stick around.
Taqueria Taco Express is now the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions. They feature 3 convenient locations, including 2 in Arlington and the original site on the Grand Prairie border at I-20 in Great Southwest. Their Taco Tuesday special includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Made from scratch with authentic recipes, you can place single or bulk orders online by going to taqueriatacoexpress.com.
New pitcher on the mound for the Martin Warriors. Taking over for Jonathan Shaw, it's number 14, Rogelio Salazar. Salazar now on the mound for the Warriors. Shaw did get a couple of strikeouts in his time on the mound job, but they came during yesterday's action, and after that leadoff hit by Isaiah Henderson, Coach Waller wants to turn to his bullpen to face the heart of this Bowie lineup.
Yeah, Shaw yesterday hit the breaking ball had very good command on it. He did manage to get 2 strikeouts yesterday. He only gave up 1 walk, but between yesterday and today, he is now at 5 singles that he has surrendered. Just the 1 run, so it's a very good start for Shaw in the combined 24 hours. I would give compliments. His breaking ball was on point yesterday. Today, maybe just that time in between was a little bit harder for him to get a good grip on. But in the situation that he was in, it was a good quality start for the Warriors pitcher.
So we'll see what Salazar can do in this pitcher-on-pitcher matchup, as Roman Ortega has singled to left and reached on an E6 in his previous 2 plate appearances. He'll have Isaiah Henderson taking a pretty strong lead off of first base, as the righty will have to pitch out of the stretch with his back to the runner. Runner feigns like he's going, and it kind of forces a bit of a high and away pitch from Salazar. Ball number 1 at the plate to Ortega. 2-1 the score here in the top of the 5th inning of this resumed action that was suspended back in the 3rd inning in last night's action. Bunt is squared up for and will be sent foul up the first baseline. Arlington looks like they may have just plated the first run of the ball game in the top of the 6th. The Colts lead Sam Houston by a score of 1-0 across town. Henderson is straight up going. It's a hit and run. Openshaw is not going to get to it, and now it's going to be a foot race to third. The throw is not going to be in time. Runners on the corners with nobody out after the good base running by Henderson.
Good base running by Henderson. He caught the pitcher Salazar off guard. The Warriors weren't expecting Henderson of all players that Bowie has to run. He's not one of the speedier guys like Jackson Turner, but he has enough base running ability to get his way up to second and round third. Good piece of skill in there. Good aggressive base coaching by Coach Crowdis and Coach Johnson.
Courtesy runner will come in for the pitcher as well. That's number 10, Jaden Kitchens. He was Ortega's courtesy runner last night as well.
Stir up a run, young man. Get around third and try to come home. Give the Bowie Volunteers a lead.
Henderson with a decent lead up the third baseline. This one's going to be lofted foul as Vaca made an attempt at it. Could not get to it in foul territory. Martin very lucky that that did not loop into fair territory, as that could have been 2 runs with the type of speed that is at first base.
There are a few side reliefs here at Martin with the nice crowd that is gathered to join us on this early start. You saw a few side reliefs. That ball went foul.
It's an 0-1 count here to Jason Wheeler. He'll put this one in play. It's headed for shallow right field. It's going to be grabbed. Henderson tagging up. The throw to the plate, not in time. And there goes Kitchens. He's headed for scoring position. He'll stay at second base on the orders of Coach Crowdis, but the sacrifice to right field ties it back up again. It's 2-2.
Good job. Good piece of hitting there. Like I said earlier, a lot of these balls have been hit to right field. Everything's getting pushed out. We don't have a lot of pull hitters with the righties that are coming up to bat. Everything's getting pushed out to right field. Right fielders have had to work the harder throw to throw back home. Good piece of hitting there. Good base running. But he's able to tie it up 2-2.
That'll take us to Brody Ferguson, who is 0 for 2 in this ball game. Ground out to short, ground out to second. Trying to see what he can do with this runner in scoring position in the form of Jaden Kitchens.
And Brody Ferguson, he's been in a little bit of a slump lately at the plate. See if he can try to work his way out of it and get a single.
First pitch is going to be chopped foul up the third baseline off of the arm of Salazar.
And there's a lot of heads up ducking over there in Volunteers dugout.
Nothing in 1 the count at the plate to Brody Ferguson, locking down first base today. Pitch call comes in. Salazar sets. Couple of glances and the pitch home is going to be a called strike at the knees to Ferguson. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 5th. Tie ball game again. Salazar. That's a good cut by Ferguson, but he can't quite put it in play, but he will keep the at-bat alive for 1 more pitch. Next delivery. Low and away, and it's a good job staying away from it by Ferguson, and it'll bring the count to 1-2.
Good eye by Ferguson. He's been in a slump lately the last few games, at least at the plate itself. So good job not to chase a bad pitch outside. Look for that same pitch again. Salazar might see something in Ferguson where he sees the intent to want to swing. Might stay away from him outside.
High and away, and it goes from 0-2 to 2-2.
Now that he's worked himself back to a 2-2 count, maybe something inside. Ferguson's got to keep a good eye on it. Don't chase anything bad. Work yourself full and make Salazar have to work to you.
Righty delivers. In play, backhanded, and off of the glove. That's a good way to end your streak. Hazen tried to backhand it, went off the side of his glove and into shallow left field. Ferguson will reach on the E6.
Good job by Ferguson. He saw something come back inside. He realized, okay, this is my chance to swing, get a good swing, got the bat off his shoulders. It was the E6. It was a tough play. He tried to backhand it instead of making the sure glove. But Ferguson took advantage of it, got on first, and he runners on the corners, just one away.
That'll take us to the designated hitter today, Josh Caber. Lined out into the glove of Openshaw at third base in his last plate appearance. Also flew out to center field during yesterday's first 3 innings. If he gets another fly out to center, that could score Kitchens from third.
That was Martin's third error of the game.
Looping curveball drops into the bucket for strike 1 to Caber.
Good curveball. And that's one of the things that the Volunteers have had a hard time hitting the last few games. Are breaking pitches outside. They look like they're going to drop out, drop away from the plate. They come back in and get called for strikes.
The 0-1 drops into the bucket again. Strike 2 to Caber.
Two off-speed pitches. You never know. He might come back with a fastball. He might try to go away with it off-speed again. Keep your eyes on a pitch that you can get something on, get your bat around on.
2. Runner goes. This one's headed to right field, and it's in for a base hit. Cajuns gonna score. Kitchens, excuse me. That's an RBI single that puts Bowie in front.
Good job. Good piece of hitting. Saw a breaking pitch that he wanted. Was able to get his bat around and push that ball out to right center. Everything Bowie's hitting is out to right field and right center. There's no adjustments out in the infield. No adjustments out in the infield for Martin to work, to shift, to work on those balls getting pushed away. Bowie's just taking advantage of it. 3-2 Volunteers.
First pitch swinging for the catcher De Leon. Reached safely 2 times today. Got a single to right and has reached on an E4 as it is 0-1. Still just 1 out. That one will not make it into the zone. Min Bay tried to frame it. Umpire did not bite. And it's a ball and a strike to De Leon. That one does find the zone. It'll clip the outside corner for a called strike 2.
I would say the 0-1 was more of a strike than the 1-1 was, but I have a different angle up here.
We're
than
a
the
solid
umpire does.
40 feet further back from the person in the black uniform that's right behind the plate. Salazar with a glance at the lead runner at second. Pitches home and will get the call. Strike 3. Backwards K at the expense of De Leon, and there's 2 away now.
First strikeout today by Salazar. First strikeout by the Volunteers today. Technically, they struck out 3 times this game, but today, Wednesday, they've only struck it out once. Get the ball in play.
De Leon is retired, and there's 2 outs now for Andrew Vega.
First, got a good lead at second.
And that curveball will drop in for a called strike 1. Vega doesn't care for the call because it looked really close to his jersey. But it will be an 0-1 count to him.
A lot of it I can tell is the way he sets up. He sets up on the outside. The ball's coming back in over the plate. So for our vantage point, it seems more outside than it actually is.
And he'll get the called strike 2, and just like that, Vega's going to have to defend the plate.
With 2 outs, 2 runners on, you have to get the bat off your shoulders, no matter what the pitch is. If it looks good enough to hit, you have to swing. You cannot look at it on the 0-2 count.
Ferguson, the lead runner at second, being held there by Luna. Pitch home. This one's going to skitter away. Both runners are going. Ferguson will make it. Nobody's covering second, so there goes Caber. Both men move into scoring position to make it 1-2 with 2 outs at the plate to Vega.
Now you got to fight back, Vega. You got a 1-2 count. Look for something that you can get out to the outfield and bring in 2 runs. You have to swing the bat if it's a good pitch. Anything outside, leave it alone. Anything coming in, questionable or not, you got to look to get the bat off your shoulder.
Pitch home. He does swing. First base is unoccupied. Minbei is going to have to throw down to first, and that will be the second strikeout and will be the third out of the inning. But not before Bowie plates 2, not only tying it up, but also taking the lead for the first time tonight. It is 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th here at Warrior Field. This is High School Baseball on Zach Arnold Productions, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
Las albercas en Texas necesitan servicios durante todo el año. Romy Pools brinda servicios de calidad, incluyendo limpieza, mantenimiento y reparaciones. Llama al número 469-951-0107 para una consulta gratuita y pregunta por Roberto. Romy Pools, haremos que te enamores de tu alberca de nuevo.
John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
Welcome back to Warrior Field on the campus of Martin High School in Southwest Arlington. Zach Arnold and Jot Holly on the call for this District 8-6A ball game. It's a home-and-home series for all of these district opponents. One ballpark on Tuesday, or Wednesday in this case, and then the follow-up game on Friday. So we will have a team at the broadcast booth at the ballpark at Bowie for the rematch between the Volunteers and the Warriors. Looking forward to the continuation of that series and looking forward to the coverage of Arlington High and Sam Houston. Those two teams will square off against each other next week as we look to combine our resources. Jot, we usually have a single camera covering the action over at one ballpark and a second camera covering the action somewhere else. We're going to try to unveil a multi-camera setup for high school baseball, which is something that is completely unprecedented here in the area.
I just asked for a helmet if I'm the one covering the dugout.
Chopper by Minbei is going to go over the head of Christian Uribe, and that's the only way you can get a ball past him is if it goes over his head. Leadoff hit by Minbei. He's 2 for 3 on the day. Pretty much everything that's been going to the hot corner has been fielded cleanly by Uribe. He's been getting out after out. But then when you bounce one in front of him that then goes over his head, I guess that's how you get it past him.
Yeah, Minbei, he's one of the hitters here for the Warriors that are very good first pitch swingers, and he's able to find another one that he likes.
Runner goes on the hit and run. It's headed for shallow center field. Turner camping underneath it, and Minbei's runner will have to go back. Is he running for himself, or does he have a courtesy runner?
He had a courtesy runner, I believe.
Yes, he does.
And he had to, courtesy runner had to work his way back to first. He was almost thrown out on a great throw by Jackson Turner at center field after the 1 out.
That is number 19, Brooks Briggins, courtesy running at first base. Briggins also a starting varsity football player. This one's going to get away from De Leon. And Briggins will make it over to second base on ball number 1 at the plate to Vaca. Tying run in scoring position after just a few short pitches. Strike is called at the plate. This is actually Flores who is at the plate. My apologies.
Sorry, we were doing some scoreboard updating here with our nice, beautiful handwriting scoreboard.
Our scorebooks
As that ball was
being
hit
updated.
foul out into the Martin bullpen.
Vaca was the one who flew out to center field,
Yes.
which was what forced Briggins to return.
1 on, 1 out. Flores is looking at a 1-2 count. Running for a min. Started off the inning with a single. That ball is hit out to the parking lot again.
Actually landed in the tree that's behind the coach's office. Then it fell harmlessly into the median.
As long as it stays far enough away from my truck.
Stays away from my car, I don't care. Still 1-2 at the plate here. Swing and a miss. Ortega gets his first K of the day.
Good 1-2 pitch by Ortega. First strikeout. He's had to work. He's had to work the last 2 innings after starting this afternoon with just 4 pitches in the bottom of the third. But it finally
Yeah,
paid off for him.
when it's a district contest, nothing is guaranteed, nothing is certain. This one is going to be right in front of the feet of De Leon, so he's able to corral it for ball number 1.
Overshaw is 0 for 1. He walked in his last at bat, and he's been credited with an error playing at third base. He's had a few hard throws this afternoon. He's had a hard time gripping them.
That hot corner is not an enviable position. It's tough for anybody to play. The 2-0. Chopper to third. His counterpart, Uribe, turns and fires and will get out number 3. Openshaw is retired. And Martin leaves a man stranded in scoring position. We're through 5 complete. The final 2 innings will decide the district fate. Stick around. There's still more high school baseball on Zap presented by John Wade Roofing to come right after this.
Hey, Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana. Aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Top of the 6th inning. And it's the top of the order as Jackson Turner leads things off for the Volunteers. Some defensive changes for Martin. Owen returns to center field and Powers returns to left. Abunasar is no longer out there defensively. And it's an 0-1 count at the plate to Turner. He'll put this one in play, and it's going to bounce off of the shoulder of the shortstop, and he'll reach on the E6.
That goes as an E6. That's the 3rd error on the shortstop for Martin. A struggle
It's
out
a
there
tough
for
play.
Jacoby Heisen.
I know that it bounced off of the dirt, and it had a weird hop. But at the varsity level, when it comes your direction like that, you need to be able to make a play on it, and unfortunately, Hazen did not. So the leadoff man gets aboard. That's 2 times in a row that Turner has reached safely, both of them happening here on this Wednesday.
It's a good job by the infield of Martin to go out and let Salazar know, hey, we have your back. The thing is, though, when you're now at 4 errors with the Martin infield, you have to show that more with your glove than instead of saying it to the pitcher to
Right.
remind him.
Right.
You have to
Words
get-
only take you so far.
You have to get yourself a sure out here eventually.
Runner goes, and there's nobody covering. It's going to be a straight steal after Uribe pulled back on the bunt attempt. We'll have to confirm what the call was at the plate. It looked like he pulled back in time. Umpire confirms it is a 1-0 count with a steal for Jackson Turner.
And good job by Jackson Turner. He saw nobody was even looking at second base. By the time the ball came back down because they were more worried about the bunt from Uribe, second baseman and shortstop just stood there and watched. Jackson Turner had a free base to steal.
So the leadoff man now in scoring position. The 1-0 is going to bounce and get away from Min Bay, but it'll go up the third baseline, which was to his advantage. It'll be a 2-0 count as Turner stays at second.
This is part of the lineup for Bowie that you want to get things going.
Yes.
I understand the last few games has been the 5, 6, 7 that's been the struggle, and you have to work around that. But they're doing the job. 1 through 4 is doing their job getting on base, but you need to continue doing that as this game goes forward and work your way into Friday and build confidence.
Bunt is squared up for and pulled back, but the strike is still called as the first baseman Vaca comes up the baseline there. It'll become a 2-1 count now here in the top of the 6th inning. We're through 2.5 after playing 2.5 yesterday. Should be a fun conclusion. 3-2 in favor of the visitors right now. 2-1 pitch is low and away. That's ball 3 to Christian Uribe. Walked, single, and then a fielder's choice that ended the inning in his previous plate appearances today. First count, the 3-1. Ball 4, he'll take his free base. Reached safely 3 times now in this ball game.
Good job by Uribe. He got a walk yesterday. He got walked again here. Then that's where those errors from Martin are going to come back to bite you because you're giving up free base runners. You give a free base runner to Jackson Turner now. He's standing at second, and it makes it harder for your pitcher if he's having an off at bat, surrendering a walk. Now there's 2 on instead of the 1 on 1 out. If you would have got the sure out to start the inning off. It's a lot of give and take in baseball. You have to do the right things, do the things properly, and work yourself around. If not, it comes back to punish you at the end of the day.
There's a punishing hit from Henderson, and it'll get past the center fielder. Kaber's going to be waved around third. It's going to be a single and an advance on the error, and Bowie is up 4-2.
What did we just say? A lot of give and take in baseball. If you do things the right way, things come back to help you. Good piece of hitting right there by Henderson. He had a single, but the single was so short that he couldn't tell if the center fielder was going to get there in time. He wasn't. Jackson Turner had to stop. But using that speed, he got around third.
I gave Kaber credit for that run, didn't I? I apologize.
That is Isaiah Henderson.
That was Henderson with the hit to center field. It got past the glove of the new center fielder, resuming center fielder Owen, which allowed Turner to come in to score. And since nobody is covering, that's going to be to the gap, and that's another base hit. They're going to hold up Henderson, but he was halfway between second and third as Uribe comes in to score on the RBI by Roman Ortega.
Henderson had enough space next to the shortstop. He was able to tell him a secret playing the telephone game in his ear before anybody realized how far down the line he was.
And that will make it a 5-2 ball game, and that will chase Rogelio Salazar off of the mound. That signal from Coach Waller is the sign of a pitching change, and the next time you need signs, banners, printed shirts, or other print materials, Ika Signs is the local printer to call. 817-617-2229 is the number, and tell them Zap sent you. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is right after this break.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Romy Pools LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Romy Pools LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hear Zach talk about things beyond the realm of sport, catch him with me, Ben Hart, on the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast. New episodes drop monthly featuring news, reviews, discussions, and tangents on all our favorite franchises, including Marvel, DC, Star Trek, Star Wars, Stranger Things, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, Dune, Godzilla, Firefly, Pixar, Doctor Who, Indiana Jones, The Last of Us, James Bond, House of the Dragon, Ghostbusters. I think you get the picture. Find the Intergalactic Peace Coalition at ipcpodcast.podbean.com or download via your favorite podcast app.
New pitcher on the mound. The call to the bullpen brings out number 5, Josh Holloway. Holloway now on the mound for the Warriors as Bowie has turned a tie ball game into a 5-2 advantage here in the top of the 6th inning. The bats have come alive for the Volunteers here on day 2 of this district series. They didn't play anything in the first 3 innings yesterday. They have played it 5 here today, 1 in the 4th and then 2 here in the 5th and 6th innings.
What a difference of 24 hours makes for a lineup. And then Salazar, he's going to end up with one pitched inning. You came in the 5th with no outs. He's leaving in the top of the 6th with no outs. Surrendered 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. 4 runs given up, 3 are earned, as 1 run would be credited because of the error. So good job by the Bowie Volunteers to come out and start hitting on the batters. Once they got Shaw chased out the game, they were able to do what they wanted to do with Salazar.
Runners on the corners now with nobody out for the Volunteers. As Holloway's first pitch is away for ball 1. This should be Jason Wheeler's spot, should it not?
Should be Wheeler.
Kitchens
is at first for Ortega.
Running for Ortega, but this is number 15. That is Wheeler. Why do I think I have him as number 9 on my score sheet because he's playing position 9. That is Wheeler. Sorry for the confusion. 1 ball, 1 strike to him. Chopper to the gap, played by Openshaw. He'll make the throw across the diamond that will push Kitchens into scoring position. Be credited as just a 5-3 putout at Wheeler's expense, though. That's got to be a boost for Damian Openshaw, who's had a tough time in the hot corner today, John.
Be able to get a sure out there. It's a boost for your infielders. It's a boost for your pitcher. To let your pitcher know, hey, I know we've gotten some errors collectively as the infield, but we're still behind you. We're still here. We'll be able to pick you up and get these runners out of this inning. Every little thing helps at the end of the day.
And a balk is going to be called on the mound, and another run will come in to score. Holloway's pitching motion was deemed not allowed as Isaiah Henderson comes in to score on the BK. First pitch to Brody Ferguson is low and away as the score balloons all the way to 6-2 here in the 6th inning. Kitchens over to third base now. That's a hard hit to short. They look the runner back and make the throw across as Ferguson is retired on the 6-3.
So good job there by the shortstop to make sure he looked that ball in before firing to first. Problem is when you've had 2 errors, Sometimes the routine play seems a little bit more
There's a
stressful than
little
it
more
should be.
pressure on there, yes.
Especially when the man making the routine play has given up 2 errors already in the
Yep.
past 2 innings.
Yep.
So hopefully that builds his confidence up a little
I was
bit.
about to say that those 2 putouts are very big for the Martin defense. It's a good morale booster for that left-hand side of the infield. Josh Caber, designated hitter, almost gets hit himself as that one goes too far inside for ball 1.
That was about to be a new term for designated.
Designated get hit. The 1-0. They'll give him the called strike on the outside corner. Caber disagrees as he steps out of the batter's box.
This is where Caber normally does his work when he's even in the count or behind the count. Last at bat, he got the single and the RBI when he was behind in the count. So things like this is what benefits Caber as he goes.
And this one does go too far inside, and Caber will take the free pass on the hit by pitch.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Martin, for Holloway. You have a new batter, you work yourself out with 2 outs. And just, I don't know if it's just loss of control or something there to lose the batter, but
That'll take us to Roberto De Leon. Catcher struck out in his last appearance, but he also has a single to right and reached on an E4 in 2 of his previous plate appearances. Trying to keep the inning alive with runners on the corners and 2 outs. High and tight for ball 1 from Holloway.
don't forget the balk. The runoff score of the ball technically goes to the previous pitcher Salazar as the 2 runners he is responsible for. So if Kitchens was to score from third, that run will be added to Salazar.
Ball 2 as this one is neck high to De Leon.
Bad we've seen this inning for the Volunteers.
Feel bad for your score sheet.
A little bit.
Runner feigns as it looked like it might have been a hit and run. De Leon got the green light but couldn't connect. It's 2 balls and a strike.
And De Leon took a very big hack at that ball. He was doing more than just looking for a hit and run with that swing. He was looking to hit the ball 380 center field.
The 2-1 now. Is now 2-2 after De Leon cannot connect.
Back-to-back big swings by De Leon. He's looking. He has something he's looking for that he sees from Holloway. He's looking for a big hit somewhere along the way.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men aboard. Ball 3 as that one goes wide. Full count now. Second base is open, so not the end of the world if De Leon finds his way aboard. Martin defense desperately trying to get out of this inning after 3 runs have been plated here in the 6th. And that's too far inside. De Leon does draw the free pass, and the bases are full of volunteers for Andrew Vega.
9th man to bat for these Volunteers. Vega has a chance to bring in a couple more runs and extend this lead for the Volunteers as we get a pinch runner.
Should be Parker coming in for the catcher.
Yep.
So you've got 2 courtesy runners, one on either corner. Jaden Kitchens running for the pitcher, and Ryan Parker running for the catcher over at first. 9-hole hitter. Second baseman number 6, Vega. Officially 1 for 3 in this ball game. Holloway cannot get the call there. A lot of times those pitches had been getting called, but it is going to be a 1-0 count here to Vega. 2-0 as that one sails almost past the glove of Min Bay. Good reflexes by the catcher. If he's not able to get that shot, that's probably another run.
That for sure is a run with this deep backstop here in Martin High School. It's deeper than the ones you see in Arlington. Maybe not as deep as Bowie, but different angle. But that for sure is a run with the speed at second. It might be a close second run.
2-0 at the plate to Andrew Vega.
Holloway's having a hard time finding the strike zone here.
Can't find it there, and it's a 3-0 count to Vega. Most likely going to put the bat on his shoulders and dare Holloway to find the strike zone. He walked De Leon in the last plate appearance, and he's one pitch away from walking in Bowie's 7th run.
And now, with nowhere to put him, you have to look for a pitch coming back at you. We'll see if he has a green light on 3-0. If he has a good hit, a good pitch to swing at.
He does get the strike one call on the tailing away pitch. It's a hitter's count now, 3-1 to Vega.
It wouldn't surprise me if Holloway comes back with another pitch in a similar spot.
Gets him at the knees, and the count runs full. Everybody will be going here. Full count, bases loaded, 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning.
That's got to come off your shoulders here, Vega.
Payoff pitch. And he'll work his way all the way back to get the backwards K and leave them loaded. Bowie strands a couple more in scoring position, but they do plate 3 here in the top of the 6th. Your new score, Bowie 6, Martin 2. The Warriors still have a couple of innings left to work with. This is High School Baseball on Zach Arnold Productions, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
Local Legends Figures immortalizes your athlete's achievements for a lifetime. Featuring 6-inch figures with poses in football, baseball, band, hockey, even lacrosse. Local Legends makes every effort to show their likeness down to every possible uniform detail. To order your custom figure, call 817-681-0319 or email orders at locallegendsfigures.com.
Welcome back to Warrior Field. Zach Arnold and Jot Holly on the call for the final innings of this District 8-6A game. Jot, it feels like it's 2 completely different ball games, the way Martin's defense was taking care of business yesterday and shutting down Bowie's offense. You look at the lines on the scoreboard out in right field, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. Total of 6 runs plated in these 3 innings. And Bowie's got a pretty sizable lead right now.
It was a difference 24-hour makes. Yesterday, Shaw, the starting pitcher for Martin, had a lot of things working for him. He did a very good job today as well. He technically only surrendered 2 runs. Good, great game, good job by Shaw, but he didn't have the same stuff working that he did yesterday. The defense for Martin has been the struggle. 4 errors, they made today, 1 yesterday. So the infield is put Martin in a bind. That first pitch was swung on and missed, strike 1. Outside, 1-1.
Ball 1 is called there to the center fielder, Powers. Although he's not in center field now. He's moved over to the left, I believe. Has to move a little bit to his left and a little bit back to avoid that pitch. Ball number 2 to him. This one's in play, and it'll bounce in front of Alex Rojas for a leadoff single for Garen Powers to left field.
Good piece of hitting. One of the few hits we've seen from either teams actually get pulled down the line. Everything else has been pushed to opposite field. Good piece of hitting there by Powers, the right-handed hitter, to get his way aboard to start the bottom of the 6th for the Warriors. Bring up Hazen, the shortstop, credited with 2 errors today, so it's been a struggle for him in the field. But at the plate, he has an RBI single. As that ball gets away from De Leon fires the second, not in time, but a very bang play. As that ball got away, it's going to go as a wild pitch. De Leon recovered. Great play by De Leon to get out there as fast as possible to fire to second, but just a bit too late. So it's going to be an 0-1 count to Hazen. Ball swung on, hit back. De Leon, take it on the mound. He gets it, fires the first, and runner's going to make it to third as that's going to be out number 1. Slow hit chopper back to Ortega at the mound. Made it hard for him to gather and figure out where the ball was going to be. 1 away in the bottom of the 6th. Hazen made his way over to third, and Parker Hobson, the right fielder, is coming up to bat for the Warriors. His third bat of the night. He's 1 for 2, and he has a single. That swing went all the way around. Strike one on a pitch that was low and away. Ortega was able to make Parker Hobson chase on that pitch there. 0-1 pitch, low and outside. Ball one. 1-1 count. Hobson's been playing right field. Seen a lot of action as Bowie's been able to do a good job pushing the ball to right field, making plays harder out there for Hobson. 1-1 pitch swung on. Brought in by the left fielder. Hazen tags up from third. The throw, and he's going to be safe.
Oh, bit of a stumble
He takes
there.
a stumble going home. Great throw out there in left field, but not in time for the arm.
Oh, that'll be Powers coming in to score on the F7 by Hobson, correct?
Yes, it'd be an F7 by Parker Hobson. It'd be a sac fly. F7 sac fly RBI. Gonna bring up Slade Owen, the center fielder, for his first at bat. He looks at a ball outside.
I think he called a strike there.
Oh, sorry, a strikeout.
You got to watch his fist as it goes forward. He
It's
doesn't turn to the side like a traditional umpire.
It's very delayed.
Doesn't matter.
The 0-1 pitch swung on. Jason Wheeler with the wiggles brings that ball in, but Martin's able to bring in one run on the sac fly RBI. As we head to the top of the seventh here at Martin High School, Volunteers lead the Warriors 6-3 on the Zach Arnold Network. We'll be right back after this, presented by John Wade Roofing.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com. A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Eka Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, Eka can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ekasigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's ikasigns.com/shop. Eka Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions.
Top of the seventh here at Martin High School, where the Volunteers lead the Warriors 6-3. As Martin was able to bring one run across the score in the bottom of the sixth on the sac fly RBI from Parker Hobson. For Bowie, we're going to be looking at the top of the order. They batted around basically in the top of the sixth. All 9 men came up to swing and bat. Now we're going to see Jackson Turner. He's going to lead off the top of the seventh for his fifth at bat of the ball game. Fans of Zach Arnold Productions, Martin fans, Bowie fans, Arlington fans, we thank you all for listening to us, no matter which game you were tuning into. If it was Arlington High taking on Sam Houston and Arlington was able to pull out the win over on the east side of town,
They did.
or here at Martin High School where the Volunteers have a 6-3 lead, we thank you all for listening to us on day 2 of this 7-inning, 24-hour affair between the Warriors and Volunteers. As Jackson Turner is going to come up to bat for his fifth at bat of the game. He has a single and an RBI. He reached base safely on his last at bat on the E6. He stole a base, came around to score. It's 1 for 3 for those keeping track at home. The first pitch he sees is high. Ball 1. Turner, one of the leaders in this Bowie Volunteer lineup, leads the game off for the Volunteers in that one spot in the order. As this ball swung on, hit it. Owen, the center fielder, looks for it. He calls everybody off, and he's going to look that ball in. Out number 1. Good contact by Turner. He's found the center fielder. Turner's going to end his day 1 for 4 with an RBI, a stolen base. But his RBI has been very crucial for the Volunteers as they have the 6-3 lead. Bat now, the third baseman, Christian Uribe. He has a single. He's reached base twice off of walks. He has a stolen base, and he is also can run to score. That pitch was
in the upper part of the zone. This is a new pitcher on the mound for the Warriors, number 9, Wiley Koch.
that ball hit down the down the third base line out into the very extended bullpen here. Bullpen runs into somebody's neighborhood. 1-1 count to Uribe. Oh, fires a 1-1 pitch high. 2-1.
Yeah, he was trying to put it in that upper half of the zone again. Bay tried to help him out a little bit, swinging his arm down after catching it.
Cope's going to be the fourth pitcher the Warriors have thrown out there. As this 2-1 is hit to the shortstop. Shortstop fires the first, and that's going to be out number 2. Good job by the shortstop, looking that ball all the way in before firing over the Vaca at first to get the sure out. 2 away in the top of the 7th. It's been a struggle at short for the Martin Warriors as Hazen has 2 errors already, but good job his last few balls that have been hit to him. Been able to look it in, let it hit the glove, fire a beautiful ball over to first and get those sure outs. Builds his confidence up going into Friday's game. As the next man up to bat can be Isaiah Henderson, number 9. Henderson, 2 singles, an RBI, and he struck out in the first inning. Very, very productive game for Isaiah Henderson in his first game back. He looks at a high pitch for he had a first pitch was a strike. Looks at a high pitch for 1-1. Henderson, the number 3 man in his lineup, one of the more dangerous hitters for Bowie. Get something going here in the top of the 7th, with the Volunteers still lead 6-3. 1-1, low and in the dirt, 2-1. Ball's gonna be in the dirt again. 3-1. Good job by Min Bay to trap that ball where it lays in front of him. 3-1 count to Henderson on deck. Pitcher Roman Ortega. 3 for 3. He's reached base safely in all 4 at bats, and he will get a chance to see in at bat as Henderson draws the walk. Good piece of good. I cannot speak right now.
Good plate appearance.
Thank you. My brain is just kind of clogged up somewhere along the way.
Henderson has struck out.
Good plate appearance. Thank you.
He struck out, but then he has reached single, and a walk. So his on-base percentage through the roof as he is going on this first pitch. The throw is in time for out number 3.
Good throw by Min Bay. I'm sorry, I was tongue-tied there. Great play by Bay, and that's going to end the innings. Henderson gets caught still in second.
Wow. That is not what you were expecting to see at the end of this half of the 6th. But now Martin has their chance to bat and rally as they trail by 3. The bottom of the 7th is coming up right after this. Stick around for the exciting finish of high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Rami Pools, LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Rami Pools, LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
To the bottom of the 7th we go here at Warrior Field. Ortega looking for the complete game victory that spans the course of 2 days. Yesterday, he didn't have any run support. Today, he's got 6 runs of support, and his defense so far has been able to do enough to put him in line for the victory. A lot of it is at the expense of Martin's defense committing a few errors, but it's also been Bowie being opportunistic, getting some timely hits, putting it where the defense is not. Good base running. It's been a very complete team effort for the Volunteers here today. First pitch is a call strike to the top of the order, second baseman Devin Luna. He's got a double and a single, but he most recently flew out. He'll put this one in play. It's a chopper. Uribe charging it and will lose it. If he fields that cleanly, John, I think he's got a chance to get the runner at first, but he bobbles it on the exchange out of his glove into his hand. I think
that goes. I think honestly, because of how
far away it was.
how far away he was, close to the shortstop when he fielded the ball, it's gonna go as a single. But Uribe has made multiple plays in the last
He
few
has.
days.
I think I just have really lofty expectations of that young man.
I do believe it goes as a single because of the speed of Devin Luna. So I would put Luna at 3. It'd be
3 for
4.
3 for 4 on the day,
2
which
singles
is
and a double.
that's what you want your leadoff man to do, is find his way aboard, and that's what he's done here. One on and nobody out for Min Bay. It's 2 for 3 on the day with a couple of singles. He'll loft this one to center field. Turner comes over and makes the grab for out number 1. One on and one out now for Ian Vaca. First baseman number 20. His ground out yesterday was what scored the very first run of the game in the first inning, and since then he has reached on a fielder's choice and flown out. He'll take a look at strike 1 from Roman Ortega here. In play, 5, 4, 3, not in time. They will get the force out though. And they're going to call interference. That's going to be the ball game. The second baseman, Luna, slid into second base and interfered, which will force the third out of the inning and will be the final margin of this ball game.
That's a weird way for it to end, but it's going to end on the interference and a double play.
It's going to count as a double play at the expense of Vaca. The 5-4-3 will give Bowie their 4th district win, taking care of Martin by a score of 6-3. Stick around for the postgame show presented by John Wade Roofing right after this.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com.
Welcome back to Martin Warrior Field. Zach Arnold and Jot Holly calling this District 8-6A ball game that goes the way of Bowie by a final score of 6-3. A lot of errors committed by the Martin defense, Jot. I think we counted at least 4, possibly 5 here today. And Bowie was able to take advantage of the runners on the base pads and had a few timely hits that brought in a couple of unearned runs, brought in a couple more earned runs behind them. And it was like a tale of 2 different days, as Bowie did almost nothing at the plate in the first 3 innings yesterday and then put 6 across here in this afternoon's action.
Yeah, Bowie came out today as I'm tallying up the overall batting numbers for the Volunteers. Some of the game Was a good. Some of the game came on getting Shaw out of the game, working Shaw's count, finally getting a hold of the breaking pitch, and that drove Shaw out of the game in the fifth inning. And yesterday he had a hard they had a hard time getting to him. A lot of first pitch swinging.
Hmm.
Today more patience at the plate. They got Shaw moving, and once they got Shaw out, they took advantage of Salazar and Holloway. Cope came in and basically closed out the final inning. They ended with a double play, but once they did a better job today than I have seen in the last few games to get a hold of the breaking ball pitcher and work his way out of the game and just chase him.
The other thing worth noting for the Bowie lineup, aside from one player, everybody in the lineup, top to bottom, reached safely in some shape or fashion, whether that be reaching on an error, reaching on a hit by pitch, reaching on a walk, or a base hit. Everybody, save for one in the Bowie lineup, was able to contribute at the plate and getting on the base paths.
Some of that is the fact that there were 5 errors today, but combined 24 hours. There's 5 errors by the Martin Warriors infield. Three of those on the shortstop Hazen, who had a very hard 2 games. Balls are hit to him. Balls that look like sure-handed plays. A couple of them he tried to backhand. It bounced out of the glove. One bounced into his shoulder. So it's just some of it's just misfortune. Some of it was his counterparts on the other side were making the plays that he wasn't able to make. So it made those errors more blatant because of that. But Bowie did a great job. They were able to get singles. They had multiple, like you said, everybody but one reached base safely. The leadoff man, 1, 2, and 3, combined 4 hits. Ortega helped himself out. He went 3 for 3. He got an RBI and he reached base safely the fourth time on the E6. So the top 4 guys in the lineup, they made it easier for Ortega to go out there on the bump and get this win.
Special thanks to our friends at John Wade Roofing for being our title partners again this year and for presenting the post-game show. John Sr. played for Arlington High and was their team MVP in 1976. He also played for TCU and UTA football teams, earning all conference and conference champion honors. After a stint with the Houston Oilers, he started roofing in 1982 and never looked back. His legacy on the gridiron is now matched by the legacy that his company has built in the community for over 40 years. The next time you have roofing needs, gutters, painting, solar, or more, call the family that does more at 817 265 5520. The return game between these two teams is set for 2 days from now on Friday evening at the ballpark at Bowie. It's going to be Vernon Wells night, and we're hoping to get to speak to Mr. Wells here on the broadcast. So there's a lot of excitement that is going to be surrounding that action, and hopefully the rain stays away enough for us to be able to play the full 7, and it won't take us into another day like this ball game did. It was still fun to be on the call for this one, though, Jod, and the Martin hospitality was unmatched. We super appreciate everything that they've done to set us up, not just one day, but 2 days in a row. We appreciate Mr. Vaca, the Booster Club president, for his gracious hospitality, and for everybody at Martin that tuned into this broadcast, all of the Bowie faithful that tune in from as far out as San Angelo and beyond. We really appreciate everybody that tuned into this ball game to help make it possible. You are why we do what we do. But what we're going to do now is pack our things up and head home for the evening as we get ready to close this ball game out. Jot, any final thoughts before we say goodnight?
Just a good job by both teams. Both teams play. What's the old expression by Rasheed Wallace? Both teams play hard, my man. Both teams play hard.
They
Both
did.
both teams did play hard. We was able to take advantage of a lot of Martin's mistakes on the infield. The 5 errors will come back to haunt him. But as we've seen with a lot of these teams, play well one day, the second day it's been a struggle. So hopefully this was the play well, and Friday is not the struggle for Bowie.
We'll have to wait and see. Be sure to tune into the Zap Network for that ball game and for the second game between Arlington and Sam Houston. Both of those games will be live on our YouTube channel. But that's going to do it for us here in Southwest Arlington. Final score again, Bowie 6, Martin 3. Thank you for supporting local businesses and local broadcasters by tuning in to this ball game. For Jot Holly, I'm Zach Arnold, signing off for now. We'll see you next